So something I like doing during my spare time is browsing through the comments section of the latest release unit just to get a gauge of what the community thinks of the whole about them. And Ame is not an exception to this compulsive behavior of mine. And while granted, every unit they release just gets even more stunning, something actually boggled me. Majority of the public considers her as a PvE unit. What? And I feel like I'm alone on this hill thinking she's really good in PvP. But not for long, because as the prophet of the church, I am here to enlighten you on why she is more than just PvE, and I dare say she shines even more in PvP without Smaugate having to bait us into thinking she's just for PvE. If you're ready to learn the reasons then, please, for me, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and smash that noti bell. So Ame, a green mage of the wizard subclass, has finally graced Mirsha and she brings a unit skill kit with her. Having a Soul Slayer sword masquerading as an umbrella, her fighting style comes with 3 art forms. Mikazuki 3rd art, Flower Charm, is a single target attack that grants her an extra turn and one of the following buffs unique to her depending on the HP threshold of the enemy when she uses the skill on. If the opponent has 50% or less HP, Ame gets Ume Ichirin. If the opponent has more than 50% HP, Ame gets Sakura Chiru and her damage is enhanced. What those buff does is basically enhances her Mikazuki 1st art, Blooming. If she has Ume Ichirin, her S1 will do 2 attacks and priority push her by 20%. If Sakura Chiru is on Ame, she does 2 attacks and get an attack buff after attacking. Not only that, her secret sword Teru Teru Bozu increases her damage output to bosses by 50%. Pretty simple kit, right? On the surface, it's meant to look that way. And it's cool that everyone was able to see that she was going to be great in PvE. But I'm here to go against the grain and tell you about her performance and applications in PvP cause, let's be real, with the fact that RTA is on the horizon, I believe it's time to sharpen everyone's senses at peeling back a unit and analyze a unit from a PvP standpoint. So to achieve this, I'm gonna walk you through my thought process and my method of character analysis and hopefully you learn a thing or two. Yeah boy. So let's start with Ame's class and subclass. For starters, she's a mage hero of the wizard subclass. That basically tells me that her stat line is going to be identical to the likes of Maxwell and Demi-Aste. Knowing this, you know that wizards have pretty good speed and high attack. And that usually translates to big PP damage. If you really wanted to, you could actually mock up a build using your own Demi-Aste as a base to see which part of the gear you are missing and go farm that.
Hey, that's pretty good.
Since we know that wizards have high attack, decent speed but fuck all defense, that means that they are a true DPS, telling me that there are 2 ways I could build her. 1. Give her speed sub in all her pieces so that she gets as close to 200 speed as possible, thus being able to move sooner and yeet her damage before she dies. Or 2. Build her a little slower and capitalize on all the DPS gear with flat defense to gain infinite gear score on her, being able to survive 1 or 2 attacks. And that takes me to my second point, which is gearing. If you've learnt anything from gearing your own Demi-Aste, you would know very quickly that mages have some of the best DPS weapons and necklaces exclusive to their class. Having access to Thumping Knuckle Dusters and Spirit of Unification sets Ame up in a position where she will have attack buff at the start of the turn and a damage boost based on her attack when attacking. We can add more synergy to her gearing by simply putting on Augmentation Set to amplify her damage further since she is already starting the turn with attack buff. That's another 15% damage increase. How do I know Augmentation Set increases damage by 15%? Because here at the church we are always doing tests to make sure we are well equipped with the knowledge to min-max our units in preparation for RTA. If that's your jam and you want to come theorycraft with us, join my Discord server, link in the description down below, and chat with us. We're more than happy to help. Anyway, back to Ame. So, because we're putting Ame on Augmentation Set, it is a no-brainer that her second set would be Immunity. The existence of Tamara is enough reason to make sure Ame is geared with immunity since she needs her S3 to get all the extra benefits her S3 provides. But that's enough of why immunity set is important. Let's take this one step further and analyze why I'm gearing Ame with Augmentation Set in a PvP setting. In PvP, you're almost always going to S3 a unit at full HP. So you're already getting the enhanced damage from her S3 and getting Sakura Chiru applied onto you. You know what that means? That means that you are permanently attack buff. Not only that, being a green unit means that you will slap mayonnaise to thy kingdom come. Don't believe me? Watch this.
そしてさよなら。ようこそ。そしてさよなら。行きましょう。お花が咲きましたよね。雪の中に咲き誇る花の花。
Another reason why Ame is such a strong PvP unit is because it is relatively easy to build her with a lot of damage. Why? Because her S2 grants a 10% crit chance, which means at 3 star, you will start building her at 15% crit, at 4 star you start building her at 18% crit, and at 6 star you start at 21 crit. In case you're wondering, that is essentially 5 rows in your Reforge that you can put anywhere towards crit damage, attack, speed, and or accuracy. This is huge with all things considered. Plus, add on a talisman stat, gems, and all of a sudden you have a beast of a melee on pen main stat neck. I mean, this is what my army looks like coupling all my thought processes together. Yes, I actually hit a main for 36k on an S3. Sorry Vanilla. So while she is good in PvE, like duh, she is more importantly really strong in PvP. And that will become even more apparent in RTA when there is always the option to pre-ban melee, and Ame just becomes a unit that can trade 1 for 2 with the opponent. But that's enough of what I think about Ame. What do you guys think? Did you guys learn something? Let me know in the comments below, and while you're there, please, for me, like the video, subscribe, and hit that noti bell.
Help me! Help me!
I swear I'm not a furry even though Inari Ame looks so